Welcome to episode 4 of Let's Talk Business, our Hailsham Chamber podcast. I'm here today with Simon Grimley from Grimley Flooring, and we're going to learn about Simon, what he offers, why he started his business, and really delve into what makes Simon tick.
There's no Stephen Barlow, is there?
Not yet. So, Simon, we've met at Chamber. I don't know huge amounts about you, your business. Let's go right back. How long have you been in business? When did you start Grimley Flooring? Let's gather some information.
Let's go back even further than that, to be honest. So, my granddad was a floor fitter. He came back from the war, and one of his bosses said, loose furniture covers, so sort of fabric covers, curtains, things like that, are going out. They're becoming mass made. Get into carpet fitting. And he did. A few years later, he did.
Because fitted carpets, I think I'm right in saying, weren't the norm.
No, absolutely. It used to be a rug.
Yeah.
And then eventually you had wall-to-wall carpets.
All old houses have the black paint around the outside of the room.
Absolutely, because it was from the rug. Very different techniques back then, completely different industry to what it is today. But that's when my granddad started. Fast forward a few years, his youngest daughter met a toe rag, my father, who my grandfather forbid my mum to see, and that set it in stone. He was in an office job, hated it, started training with my granddad, became a carpet fitter as well. Fast forward to about 2000, and I was in and out of different jobs trying to find my feet, and my dad turned around to me and said, you need a proper job, you need a career, come out with me until you figure it out. And there I've been ever since.
What, was there a tussle at that stage? Were you sort of convinced, or was you, don't know?
Oh, the first few months I hated it. It was physically demanding, I didn't like it, I was working with my hands, I couldn't be sat at my computer. I loved my video games at the time, and there was a lot of pushback, but eventually I found my love for it, and 25 years later, here we are.
So this business, Grimley Flooring, is that what you set up, or have you inherited this from your grandfather and your dad?
So Grimley Flooring is a brand new company.
Yeah.
So my grandfather eventually retired. He stopped fitting carpets in his late 90s. Sorry, early 90s, I should say. I had a few years to him there. My dad sadly had a stroke just before he was 70. He's fully recovered, but he couldn't fit anymore. His health wasn't good enough. I got out of fitting floors at that point. I'd gone to work for John Lewis as a surveyor in flooring, as an inspector. Loved more of the admin side.
I bet you saw some houses working for them, didn't you?
I did see some great houses. I mean, I was up in Kingston upon Thames, sort of Surrey, Richmond. Very nice.
They're not worried what it costs per square metre.
Funny enough, they are.
Really?
Yeah. I went to one new build house, £30 million mansion, build cost, not sale cost.
It's a different world.
Carpet quote came in at £35,000 and they quibbled it. And you just say, yeah, okay, fair enough.
This is why they've got that and we haven't. Yeah.
Not my problem. Here's the quote. Manager can deal with it. Ended up leaving there. We relocated to Kent. I moved to work for Carpetright.
With your now wife, or is this?
Girlfriend at the time.
Yeah.
We were looking to move towards the south coast. She's from Eastbourne.
Okay.
Wanted to get closer to her parents, but she was still working in London. So Kent was a really good stopping point for her. She could still get to London. We could get down here a little bit quicker. I went to work for Carpetright. Let's just say it wasn't the best experience. I learned a lot, mainly how not to do things, and practices I didn't agree with.
Yeah.
Did a couple of years there, and then my wife was pregnant. We relocated down here, and I was starting to look for another job. I wanted to do something completely different. I wanted out of the industry. I took a year and a bit out for my daughter to be a dad, which was amazing. And early 2000, I set up Grimley Flooring. Decided I just wanted to get back on the tools, get back to it. I have to credit a couple of my friends. They came over late 2019. We got very drunk and they said, go into business for yourself, you'll have loads of free time.
How's that worked out?
Not very well.
No.
It started off okay. I was subbing to a couple of shops. It was quite easy. COVID struck, disaster. 3 months in, I thought the business was dead. I really thought that was it. I was done before I even got off the ground. I'd been out of work too long to claim sort of any of the credits or relief. I hadn't been in business long enough to get any support. I had no credit history with anyone at the time.
It was properly terrifying at that point, wasn't it?
I could get nothing, no support. Luckily, my wife's work allowed her to work from home, so we still had income. And yeah, it was a scary year, the first year.
How did that go? Because for us, as estate agents, we obviously had to shut down like everybody else, and we were one of the first businesses to reopen. And from the moment we put the key in the door, our feet didn't touch the ground for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
It was bananas. I've got friends that are kitchen fitters, carpenters, electricians, and everybody seemed to go through this huge busy spell because those that were on furlough or getting all these business grants seemed to be quite well off because they couldn't have a holiday, they couldn't go out for dinner, you know. Were they spending more money on carpets because they had the money to do it? Yeah,
absolutely. So yeah, we closed down for the first lockdown.
Yeah.
Then we were allowed back in people's houses, lots of rules and regulations. It was
so weird, wasn't
it? It was bizarre.
Stand there, don't talk to me.
Yeah, I mean, in a way it was nice. You could shut the door on the customer
and
almost be rude without being rude, which was an interesting turn, because I never mind them paying attention to what I'm doing. But yeah, it was a little bit weird. The shop I was subbing for turned around and went, we don't think there's going to be enough work, we're letting you go, because I was only a subby. So in my first 6 months of business, I suddenly found I was getting no work. So I was completely on my own. And you're right, I did a little bit of basic marketing, a bit of networking, and suddenly business took off. And from the first year to the second year, business doubled. Into the third year, it doubled again. And I was just thinking, holy hell, what's going on? Never known a time like it. We were permanently busy. And then 2 years ago in August, we went away on the first big holiday we'd done since my daughter was born, and we came back and it was dead. And that was it, the bubble had burst.
I can mirror that. August 23.
Yeah, and that's exactly when it was.
It just ended overnight.
Someone turned the tap off. It was done, and I thought.
Around the time of Liz Truss's budget, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was just before it. Yeah. Can we swear on this podcast? Because basically I got back from holiday and went, shit, what am I going to do? There's no money, there's not a huge amount of work in the pipeline, the inquiries have just dropped.
We had to lay off 2 members of staff near on instantly.
Yeah.
It was a horrible time.
I was so close to expanding.
You've gone nothing like that. You're becoming invincible.
Yeah.
And then someone turns the tap off and it collapses.
I thought I was a genius businessman.
Yes.
Honestly thought I was the greatest thing. And the tap turned off. And I mirrored back to 2009 when the markets crashed then. And I was in business for myself at that point in flooring. I'd gone off from my dad and I'd lost my business. I was only self-employed, wasn't a limited company or anything, so it wasn't too hard to wind up, but it really hit me hard. And that's why I went to work for John Lewis. And I stopped and I thought, I'm not doing that again. I'm not failing a second time.
How can I make this work?
So we doubled down and grew the business another 30% the following year.
I think it goes to show, doesn't it? I think if your heart is really in something, as much as you can have particularly scary times, it's cash flow usually, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's often not that the work's not there, it's getting the money in the bank account.
It's a bit of both in this case.
But I think you are a shining example that with the right mindset behind you, you know, like you say, marketing. I know through friends that you invest heavily in your social media content. You know, there must be times, I don't even know how you manage to get there, but you come to the networking events, you're getting your name out there, and you're mixing with people to build your brand, and hopefully, I don't know, how have you found that? Has that been sort of instrumental in your growth, or...?
It has. So before I started Chamber, just over a year ago, I did BNI for a while.
It's been already.
Yeah, I've just had to pay for my renewal.
Shocking. Dear, isn't it?
Yeah. Not compared to BNI. That's extortionate. Sorry, Ivan. It really is.
Yeah.
I did that for quite a few years, and it was great knowing all these people, having people you can phone up and just say that I'm really stuck with something. You build friendships, you build contacts, and that has been instrumental. It's helped me win some of the biggest clients I've had. The one thing with a trade, I would say, it's not so great for the individual. You know, you can't stand up and say, "Oh, can you introduce me to Mrs. Smith at number 42?" That it doesn't work. But what has helped his meeting estate agents and letting agents and builders and property agents and all the sort of people who deal with property and would need my services from time to time. And that's helped because it's taken us to a different level.
I always feel networking can serve all sorts of businesses, can't it? You know, if ever I've got a service that's required, you know, Riley could back me up on this today. I've asked for 2 businesses today, and I put it in the chamber chat first. Who am I going to go to? I need a cleaner. What was the other one? Was it gardener? Can't remember. But I needed 2 services today, and of course I'll be like, well, what chamber members have I got that can help me with that? Because they're in my psyche. You know, if I need someone that's going to lay some floors, you're in my psyche, which means I'm going to think of you. You know, are you necessarily saying to people, you've got it, charge what you like, do it when you like? No, but you're giving the opportunity. You know, the amount of valuations that I get off the back of my chamber relationships, or someone that knows me from the chamber, or a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend, you know, it's up to me to convert them, but it's giving me opportunities I wouldn't have had.
100%. And that's what it's all about, isn't it? It's getting to know people, getting that foot in the door, building those relationships. And I think that's invaluable to business.
And trust. We all like to trust who we're working with.
Hopefully.
And like them. Liking goes a long way, doesn't it? So you was part of B&I.
Yeah.
Talk me through B&I.
We got invited along by a conveyancer and said, there's loads of business, we're always looking for you. I joined, never got a bit of business from her, which always left a bit of a sour taste. I was there for 3-4 years and eventually decided it wasn't right for me. It was every week and family commitment was getting too much. It was putting too much pressure on us. So I stepped back. I'd been involved as leadership roles for quite a while and I just needed a break. And interestingly, I was talking to a friend and he said, well, you can't stop networking, that's not very good, get into chamber. And he actually paid for my first year's membership.
Oh, really?
You're going, and if you miss one meeting, you've got to pay me back.
Yeah.
So that's why for the first year I didn't miss a meeting, because it gave me that impetus. And it wasn't a huge amount of money. No. I'm a stingy so-and-so.
Is it just Hailsham Chamber you're part of?
It is, yeah. I've been to a couple of others, didn't click quite as much with them. Probably should revisit just to see if it was a one-off. But I really like the Hailsham one. I've got to say it's a great place to be.
And I'm hoping that, you know, because we have such large breakfast meetings, we're averaging 70 a month at the moment. If you've got a room full of 70 people, your chances of connecting with someone are obviously double that if there's 35 there. You know, and I'm really keen to keep driving that number, because the more people I can put my members in front of, the more chance they've got of securing relationships, building on those bonds, and hopefully generating business out of it. You know?
Which is the ultimate goal, isn't it?
Absolutely.
You know, we all say, yes, the networking's nice, building contacts is nice, and it is, and it's important, but ultimately I'm there to make money.
Absolutely.
You know, if I was never making any money, would I remain? No. Probably not. But I've already done quite well out of chamber, so there's little chance of me moving on.
I think like anything, you get out, but it's fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
We have a laugh.
Well, it's lonely being a sole
Absolutely,
trader. You know, yes, I'm a limited company. Yes, I've got a couple of subbies now, but they're not friends. They're not people I can chat to. I can't really talk business with a guy I'm paying. That's not very professional. But to be able to have a chat with you, with Riley, with some of the other members, and sort of say, look, you know, how's things going?
People that probably experience your stress, they can
who have been
understand
there
it.
before.
Yes.
Either they've been through it, or you're going through something they haven't yet been through, or you've been through what they have, and we can all help each other, and that's invaluable.
And it's interesting because the longer I've spent networking, I sort of understand that, you know, naturally we're all there, a bit like dating, isn't it? You're there to present the best version of yourself, but actually as those relationships grow and you learn the backstory behind who and what these people are, I don't know, it makes me feel a lot more comfortable. I'm only going through what everyone else has gone through, or, you know, they know how I feel because they've been there.
Yeah, isn't it interesting that the more you find out, the more you realise your business isn't unique?
And how normal you are.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
I don't know, we can call ourselves normal, Sam.
Yeah. We can try.
Everyone's been through the same journey. All businesses are basically the same. Yes, we serve different customers. Yes, we sell different products. Yes, we deliver in a slightly different way. But it's all basically the same.
And everything's relative, isn't it? You know, whether you run a £10,000 a year business or a £1 million a year business, that stress is no different. It's just in different ways.
Different way, yeah. 100%.
Obviously, I've followed you on social media the whole time you've been part of the chain, but I know you take things like training, accreditations and all that very seriously, and you should be quite proud of that, actually.
Thank you.
What led you down that path?
That's a bit of an interesting story. So when I first set up Grimley Flooring, I subbed back to Carpetright because I knew a couple of the managers because I've worked there.
An easy in, I dare say.
Very easy in. And in fact, they were the ones who told me there was no work after COVID. Well, we saw how well that ended for them. Part of the thing for Carpetright was you had to go on an assessment and have your skills checked by someone who technically was very good at their industry. And the guy
quality standards.
Yeah. It was which trusted trader, but they got someone who was very highly trained and recognised within the industry to come and assess it.
Okay.
The day lockdown was announced, we'd driven up to Orpington. There was only me and one other guy there. Very weird because we couldn't get close to each other. They'd already said about the 2 metre rule. We didn't really know how serious it was, but everyone knew something was coming.
We was all a bit blasé to it at that point.
We were a little bit, weren't we?
So
we're doing this training, and at the end of it, the guy said to me, "Yeah, that's fine, you've passed it all." He said, "You're a perfect fitter for Carpetright." And my back went up. I was like, "What do you mean, perfect for Carpetright? It's a bit of an insult." He went, "Well,
does that mean I'm shit?"
Well, yeah, that's exactly where I went. And my ego just boom.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Well, what do you mean?" He went, "Well, you'll never be a master fitter, will you?"
Ooh.
Yeah. So anyway, we closed it off. I was driving home. Boris announced his lockdown while I'm en route home, thinking, "Oh my God, what's going to happen?" I can see all this crashing down. Over the next couple of weeks, this was really playing on my mind. It was really pissing me off.
And you had plenty of time to think because we was all stuck at home doing nothing.
Yeah, my poor daughter was
drinking.
Didn't drink, thankfully.
Good.
I was on baby duty at the time.
Of course.
She was barely 2. What do you know I am saying? But this was playing over and over in my head. It was really digging in. And I suddenly realised I can either let this keep winding me up or I can turn it into something. So I reached out to the National Institute of Carpet and Floor Layers, the NICF, and I wanted to learn some more. And then I started training, I started getting involved, I started understanding what it took to be a great fitter, and my workmanship changed. In that period, I used sort of the COVID
that gave you a drive to think, I'll prove you wrong.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
And I used while I was still subbing at Carpetright to practice these new skills that I was seeing, that I was learning, that I was being taught, and I really upped my game to the point that today, I would say I'm a really good fitter. I'm not a great fitter yet. I've still got a long way to go, and I think anyone who says they're amazing probably isn't. But it's really put me on that path. And then I sort of got a bit hooked. So we joined the NICF. I became a council member for them, which means I'm driving the future of the industry. I get involved with writing British standards when the opportunity comes up. I hope we do. Anyway, I ended up joining the Buy with Confidence, which is training standards. I'm currently looking into something, and hopefully by the time this comes out, it'll be the truth. I'm currently looking into joining Diversity Trustmark, which is government backed. All of these sort of say I'm a good fitter and we're running a legit business. Because to me, there are so many cowboys out there, and we've seen a lot.
And it's showing why you are different
Yeah.
to Joe Bloggs down the road who's bought a van and he's quite good with stand enough.
Oh, and this is it. My industry is unfortunately one you don't need any qualifications for. I could literally take you to Screwfix around the corner, buy you a knee kicker and a brickies bolster and a knife.
And a name badge that says carpet fitter.
Yeah. And you could tomorrow you could put yourself on Facebook and go, I'm a carpet fitter. And until people start complaining, you could get away with it. And you could charge good money. And it really annoys me because people are getting ripped off, and I want to prove we're a different company. I want to prove that you can trust us from the get-go. This is why we do what we do. It's why we say what we say. It's why we offer longer warranties than most people.
I fully understand everything you've just said, because my industry is the same.
Yeah.
If you look at half of the room in chamber, they're unqualified positions.
Yeah.
And
it doesn't mean they're bad at what they do.
no.
Some of the unqualified can be brilliant. I'd just like to put that out there.
Yes.
But before we slate half of chamber.
It's that kind of accreditation of, no, we are good.
Yeah.
We know our stuff, we're following the rules, we've been checked up, we're passing with flying colours.
It's like the awards.
We're doing good. Absolutely.
Some of them are a little bit sketchy, shall we say, but they say to the customer, someone has looked at us and said, you're good at what you do. So you can trust us that little bit more. It's the same with reviews. It's a trust symbol.
The only time I don't like the awards is when they tell you you've won an award and it's going to cost £500 to accept that award.
My second word is normally off.
Yeah. And sadly, they do exist.
Yeah.
They do exist.
And I know plenty who take those and claim that they're brilliant because of it. You've just paid money for a certificate. No, earn it.
Yeah, and I think it's nice when, say you've been recommended by somebody at the chamber or one of your friends or whatever, and you're able to go into somebody's house and actually say, well, look, I'm accredited by X, Y and Z. Yeah. It's building that extra layer of confidence and trust within the client then, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. They know that, yes, we're not necessarily the cheapest out there, but you're going to get a top service, you're going to get good quality, you're going to get right materials. And if something goes wrong, we're going to turn up and put it right.
Absolutely. Have you been there when Andrew from Dawson Hart says, he holds up 3 cards, one says cheap, one says fast, and one says right. Yeah. And he says you can only have one of those.
Yeah. 100%.
Because you can't have it right and fast, you can't have it cheap and fast.
Yeah.
You get my drift with that,
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want it done right, it costs what it costs and it takes the time it takes, doesn't it? So you're 5.5 years into Grimley Flooring now. I think it'd be nice for our viewers to know where you're planning on being in the next 5.5 years.
Hopefully still in business.
Yeah.
Be the first
step number 1. Still with us.
Step 1.
Yes.
Well, what are you saying, Sam? I would love to grow the business more. At the moment it's me, a couple of subbies out there. My ultimate goal is to have employees rather than subcontractors. I don't particularly like the subcontractor model, but I appreciate why it's there. And as you're growing, that flexibility with staffing is perfect.
Crucial, if anything.
Yeah. So my ultimate aim is to grow the business, have a local hub, whether that's a warehouse, a shop. I'm still sort of deciding that. But then have a team or two of employed fitters that can be out seeing people and just delivering a better service across Sussex.
I think that's a really good ambition to have. And actually I hope through the connections you're making through channels such as Hailsham Chamber, the support will be there for when you start taking that jump.
I think it will be. So
big jump.
It's going to be a big jump. It's going to shake the industry up a little bit, but we've already done a few things to upset some of the flooring guys.
Yeah.
I'm not going to stop. I'm just going to keep shining a light on this industry and
I think that motivation, drive and dedication is actually what's going to make you outshine the competition anyway, Simon.
Thank you.
So I hope everyone's really enjoyed our time here with Simon. Learnt more about Grimley Flooring. I think it's been really informative for me. I hope you've enjoyed it as well.
I've really enjoyed this. Thank you.
If everybody could like, share, leave reviews, contact us if you want to get one. Please do let us know. Keep posted on our Hailsham Chamber social channels. Get subscribed to our newsletter to find out more about what's going on. And please do get in touch if you want to know any more. Thank you.